If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Oh my God, let's get right to it. The Mandalorian Chapter 3 has now turned into John Wick. I almost saw it coming because I knew, there's a chance. First of all, there's spoilers all in this thing, man, because you can't talk about this show without having to talk about certain scenes and action sequences. So first of all, I would say this is the best written episode so far, best cinematography, best everything. I think it was Deborah Chow directed this episode. Absolutely. The action sequences, the kill count. First of all, The Mandalorian's rated TV 14. All right. There were so many people getting killed in this episode. And it was very reminiscent of John Wick. Okay. And I'll tell you what, man, like Star Wars is not for children. I mean, come on. So I love this episode. So far, this one's the best episode. One of the scenes that really just like I knew it was going totally John Wick was obviously, he was getting attached to Baby Yoda. And I've seen a lot of theories out there online, and I'm starting to believe that if this Baby Yoda is 50 years old, then it was cloned during the Clone Wars, because that sets the time frame out proper. And then somebody had pointed out that the symbol on the Imperial Doctor with the little beady glasses was Camino from Attack of the Clones, the Camino symbol. And I was like, oh, dude, they cloned Yoda. Somehow, some way they got a hold of some Yoda and they cloned him, and they've been cultivating this Baby Yoda all this time, which I believe directly is going to tie into the Rise of Skywalker, because I do believe Rey is a clone, and we're going to find out she's a mix of Anakin's blood and Luke's hand, and that's why she's so powerful and can unlock the Force and all that. But that's another video. Back to The Mandalorian Chapter 3. I loved the bit when he goes into the refinery to get more armor. And they're all talking. I love that the Mandalorians are trying to reclaim their place in the galaxy, and that there is some inner conflict there because they're all trying to get this metal, that was theirs in the first place, but stolen by the Empire. And I love that they're all like the brotherhood, the sisterhood. They're all in it to win it. And something that was said, which I knew, the Mandalorian was going to go back and get Baby Yoda, was because, first of all, I loved the fact that he just dropped him off and took his money and was like, what's going to happen to the kid? And then Werner Herzog's like, and he freaked, and he's like, whatever. So he leaves. And I thought to myself, okay, well, they're sticking to the idea that he's a cold bounty hunter. But then every time he goes into the refinery, we get a little bit more of his past in these flashbacks as things are getting hammered in and banged down, and the metal is melted down in order to make a shield or a pauldron or a chest plate. And I love that we're learning again. Damn it, Rian Johnson could learn a lot from Jon Favreau and on storytelling, man. And Jon Favreau is credited as writing this episode. And there's something about, getting people the information without hammering it over your head. And it's such a subtle way to do it, where you're learning more about the Mandalorian as the episodes go on. And the one thing that was said that just stood out was he said, he was like, he felt guilty about his bounty. And, the one who's making the weapons, she's like, why? What, and he goes, because my enemy did not know I was his enemy. And there was lost honor there. And I was like, whoa, because like Baby Yoda helped him against the rhino creature in the last episode and saved his life. And so, Baby Yoda's thinking, this guy's going to save my life. And then he didn't. And then he turned him over. So he felt guilty about that. And I thought, oh man. And Carl Weathers, man, it's very, very John Wick. You walk into this one place where all the bounty hunters are there. They all have their little code, their honor, the whole 9 yards. And then he decides to take out everyone in his way in order to save the Mandalorian, or in order to save Baby Yoda. He killed so many stormtroopers in such lethal, nasty ways. I just loved it. It reminded me of Aliens with the guns, with the lights on it, going through the tunnels, in that little warehouse space where they're going through. I'm telling you, man. But also, the Mandalorian had an opportunity to kill the doctor right before he snatched Baby Yoda, and he was like, "No, I'm the reason he's alive." The doctor pleaded with him, and he let him go. And again, it's good story writing, because the Mandalorian's only killing people that deserve it, okay, or that directly threaten him, like the stormtroopers or whatever. But he has a conscience; he can spare people, but he's still lethal. I love that. It's the shootout in the OK Corral with all the other bounty hunters. But it just goes to show you, man, like the Mandalores are nothing to mess with, dude. These guys are just, they're on it. And all these, the Rhodians that were there that got obliterated and disintegrated, and all the other bounty hunters that are just getting their asses handed to them. And I loved, dude, the thing with Carl Weathers when he was on the razor at the end and gets shot and falls off. I knew he wasn't dead. And then right away, it was the old classic, Clint Eastwood had the Bible. I think it was a Bible underneath his pauldron, or underneath his outfit in one of the Westerns when the bullet hit that, or, the classic, you got what you drink alcohol out of, you stick it in the pocket, it gets hit with the bullet and it stops it. These classic Western motifs keep coming up, and they're fantastic. It's a great way to pay homage to the old spaghetti Westerns, and with a slight twist. That's the way you pay homage. You don't do it the way other people do it, where they just rip off scenes and sequences. They're little nods, absolutely little nods. I love that when the Mandalorian walks up before he goes in to get Baby Yoda, that thing comes out again, and he grabs it and he snaps it off. I didn't talk about it in the last video where I recapped the last two. But I love that that's a throwback to Return of the Jedi, because this takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And the scene that just set it off for me at the end, my hair stood up on my arms, was when all the Mandalorians flew up with their jetpacks and were taken out, and they were standing by their brother in arms, and knew he was doing the right thing with his honor, like he had described before when he was in the refinery there, about honor, and they were honoring him. And then I love that shot, at the end where he says, "I got to get one of those," when he's talking about the jetpack. So we know it's coming, and that's going to be great. Baby Yoda with the little knob that he unscrewed. See, here's the thing, he is Baby Yoda, but he's 50 years old. So it's like, how old are you still an infant? See, I'm waiting for him to start talking. And I think that's going to blow people's minds, because right now he's still doing the goo goo gaga thing, but I feel like that might be a smoke and mirrors thing. We'll have to find out. And one thing I didn't talk about in the last two episodes is I love at the end of every episode, during the credit rolls, they're showing the concept artwork for all the stuff that they're trying to do in these episodes, which goes to show you the planning that went ahead into this thing to do these concept artworks, conceptual designs, so that you knew what the scenes were going to look like, and the previs that went into it. Fantastic stuff. This show is totally kicking ass and taking names. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think episode 3 alone, chapter 3 of The Mandalorian, was better than The Last Jedi. I'm sorry, but I feel like there's nuggets being dropped in this, talking about the Empire is no longer, but there's factions and stuff, because we're going to probably see towards the end of this thing, maybe the New Order, the First Order come up and things like that. But I don't want to get convoluted with it. I'm enjoying the hell out of this show. What were your favorite parts? And there's still so many characters we've yet to see. We haven't seen Bill Burr's character. We haven't seen Gina Carrero's character. There's so much more coming down the pike. I'm excited about it. Are you excited about The Mandalorian? Episode 3 totally kicked ass. Let's talk about it in the comments section, and we'll see you on the next one.